Hello, everybody. At this time, we are talking about value for money. Value for money is a concept used to assess the cost effectiveness and efficiency of expenditure or investments. It focuses on achieving the best possible outcome or benefit for the resources invested. Value for money considerations is often used the public sector, private sector, and various organizations to ensure that funds are utilized wisely and that decisions are made in a way that maximize benefits while minimizing costs. The concept of value for money considers not just the immediate cost of an action, but also the long term benefits and impacts. It all involves evaluating different options or solutions to determine which one provides the greatest benefits relative to its cost. And then we move to the importance of value for money. A key term in contemporary performance management is that organizations need to measure and manage non-financial aspect of performance rather than focusing solely on financial aspect. However, in profit-seeking organizations, there remains an underlying financial objective, typically to maximize profit in order to maximize value for shareholders. By definition, though not for profit organizations do not have this underlying objective. Nonetheless, financial performance remains important in not for profit organizations. For example, comparing actual expenditure against budget, or comparing the surplus or deficit of income over expenditure. However, these organizations also need to monitor how efficiently they are using the resources available to them and how well they are performing in relation to their key objectives. For example, for hospitals and medical centers, how effectively they are providing health care to their patients. For schools and universities, the quality of education they are providing to their students. In these respects, three important aspects of performance to measure are economy, efficiency, and effectiveness, the so-called 3S. Achieving these 3S will help an organization to ensure it is delivering good value for money. And then how to calculate value for money. There are a number of ways to calculate value for money. The most common way is to divide the cost of a good or service by the quantity or quality of the good or service received. This will give you the unit price. You can then compare this unit price to other similar goods or services to see which offers the best value for money. Another way to calculate value for money is to use the economic concept of marginal utility. Marginal utility is the extra satisfaction you get from consuming one more unit of a good or service. When making a purchase, you should always compare the marginal utility you will receive from the purchase to the price of the good or service. The higher the marginal utility, the better value for money the purchase will be. You can also use cost-benefit analysis to calculate value for money. This involves assessing all of the costs and benefits associated with a particular good or service, and then comparing them to see if the benefits outweigh the costs. If they do, then it is likely that purchasing the good or service will offer value for money. And then, what are the different types of value for money? There are many different types of value for money that can be considered when looking at purchasing goods or services. The most common type of value for money is cost effectiveness, which looks at the overall cost of something in relation to the benefits it provides. Another popular type of value for money is value for time, which focuses on how long something will last or how often it needs to be used in order to justify its cost. And other types of value for money include the first, environmental type. This takes into account the environmental impact of a product or service as well as the potential for recycling or reuse. The second, social. This type of value for money looks at the social impact of a product or service, says whether it promotes social inclusion or equality. And then the third, ethical. This assesses whether a product or service has been produced ethically, taking into consideration issues such as working conditions and animal welfare. And then we move to the key component of value for money. The first component, comparative analysis. To assess value for money, you often need to compare different options or alternatives. This might involve comparing the costs, benefits, risks, and potential impacts of each option before making a decision. And then, second, continuous improvement. The concept of value for money encourages organizations to continually assess and improve their processes and practices. It's an ongoing effort to find ways to optimize resource allocation and enhance outcomes. And then third, economic efficiency. Value for money requires ensuring that the resources allocated to a particular project, program, or investment are used in a way that minimizes waste and inefficiency. It's about achieving the desired outcomes while using the least number of resources possible. And then fourth, balancing stakeholder needs. Value for money takes into consideration needs and expectations of various stakeholders. It seeks to strike a balance between different interests, including financial consideration, social impacts, and environmental factors. I think it is enough. Thanks for watching.